Hi guys, charity shop Gold or Garbage in Keynsham today. Quite a few charity shops, very little that I wanted to buy. Eventually I found this little set of solar wobblers. There was actually 3 more, but I'd already got the other 3, so I only bought the ones that I didn't already have. 50p each. These 3 seem to be working fine. I have actually got a light on over there just to make sure, because it's getting on in the afternoon now and the sun's behind the clouds anyway. These 2 don't appear to work, so I'll have to take them apart and see if I can fix them. He looks like he's free rocking, which probably means that the wiring is broken in him, otherwise he ought to be going. Yeah, might be trying to go, but I'm going to have to take it apart anyway. And this one actually is stiff, so I'm going to have to take him apart and find out what's wrong with him. Let's have a look, see if we can figure out what's wrong with this one. Take the bottom off. Just move the lamp round to the other side. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. Not enough magnification, I don't think. How about zooming in? Oh, that's better. Yeah, we got some broken wires there on the coil. So that's what the problem is. At some time or other, let's move out again. Sometime or other that's been allowed to drop right down. That's brushed against the top of the coil and broken some of the wires, so that's why it's not working. You can see it actually rocks easily. If I use my circuit here that I use for other purposes, but it's the same circuit board, it's come out of another solar rocker. That's the coil. That's a slightly larger than normal solar panel. But if I put him on top of there, line him up with that one, you see he's quite happy. Can you stop him? So the rocking movement is absolutely fine. What the problem is that's a broken coil. And there's no easy fix for that, because the chances of finding both ends of the wire that are broken are nil. Well, I could try and unwind it, but nah, that's just a waste of time. So if I want this little fella to work, my best option is to take apart another one and replace that coil. Desolder it from the 2 terminals there and put a new coil on it. So, out of luck with that one. What I should have done, I suppose, because these were only 50p each, was bought one of the ones that I'd already got and used that to repair this one. So I might think about that. Anyway, So that's what's wrong with that one. The wires are broken that go to the coil. Now we'll have a look at this fella. I suspect the problem with this one, well, it's off its mounting somehow. I say it's quite stiff to move. Let's have a look. Okay. Those wires look okay. Surface of that coil looks okay. Pop that back in there where it's supposed to be. Sometimes they clip in place, sometimes they got a little bit of hot glue on them. So why is he so stiff? He looks quite alright now that I've taken the bottom off. Let's do the same check. Put him over there. There's probably a bit too much of a gap between the magnet and the coil. You see it's still trying to move. Align that any better. Yeah, there we go. So that's fine. It must be, I hate to say it, actually rubbing against this coil. It does seem to be sitting up a little bit. There's a gap underneath it. But that's how it's been glued in there. That's up a bit high. Maybe if I put it back in there but don't push it down too firmly. Yeah, he's fine. So he was actually, same problem as the other one. The magnet was down too far and it was actually rubbing on the surface of the coil. But luckily it hadn't actually broken any of the wires. So he's absolutely fine as long as I don't push him down tight. I could try and release that coil from its glue and get it to sit down properly, but there's a good chance doing that I'll actually break the wires on it. So he's working as long as I just don't crush him down. And this one will need a replacement coil. Right, I really don't think this is physically possible. But I've just used a sharp knife and I've managed to pick out the other end of that wire from the coil, or at least I think it's the other end. So we got the loose end there, and then I've just been able to pick up that piece of wire there. Now this is so small, I just don't know if I'm going to be able to physically do any soldering or anything on this. I've got a pair of tweezers here. I've just lost it again now. I need to try and pick that piece up, pull out a little bit so I can get some solder onto it, and see if I can piece it out. That's what I'm going to go and try and do. There's no way I'm going to be able to film that and do it at the same time, so I'll go and try and do it. If I succeed, we'll come and film it, or at least film it working. Positive thinking. Well, this might physically be possible. I've managed to peel back one turn of the coil, and that's the original piece that was broken off, so I should be able to just solder those two together, and that should complete the coil, and then I should be able to fold them down out the way. Well, that was disappointing. I did manage to join the bits of wire that I found, but it must be broken in more than one place. That's my solder joint. I don't think you can even see it. Zoom in a bit. Right, it's my solder joint, but that's not getting the coil working, so it must be broken in another place. So the fix there is what I said originally. Replace that coil with another one. That's a shame. That would have been a good finish if I'd have got it working.